In this video, I'm going to talk about Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic, UFC295. On paper, guys, this is the best UFC heavyweight fight we have witnessed in years. Because if I look at my right hand, I have Jon Jones. I look at my left hand, I have Stipe Miocic. Come on, guys. This is the UFC GOAT and the UFC heavyweight GOAT. Let's go! Hello there, fight fans. How are you doing today? I hope all of you are doing well. Welcome to my channel where I talk everything UFC, sharing my opinions and most importantly asking for yours, guys. So without further ado, without delaying anything, let's dive deep into this fight. So we're gonna start with Jon Jones, the former light heavyweight champion, now the currently heavyweight champion of the world, guys. So it took something like 3 years for Jon Jones to move from the light heavyweight to the heavyweight division, where he was supposed to fight in this highly anticipated fight with Francis Ngannou. But this fight, guys, unfortunately we didn't come to witness it because Francis Ngannou and the UFC president Dana White didn't come to a contract agreement, so the contract talks fell through, and then Ngannou went on to sign with the PFL and is now about to fight with Tyson Fury in Abu Dhabi or Saudi Arabia, somewhere there. So yeah, then Jon Jones was then scheduled to fight with Cyril Gane, the Frenchman who is said to be a very well-equipped man in terms of his all-round skills in the octagon, but he was lacking in his wrestling. Cyril Gane didn't have a good wrestling, mind you, on that. Do you remember that Khabib even invited him to fight in his camp to train with the Dagestani boys, but Cyril Gane turned him down. That was a bad option from Gane. So Jon Jones then was supposed to fight Cyril Gane, and then the match was scheduled, and then Jones was supposedly meant to strike against Cyril Gane because he's been preparing for Francis Ngannou for about 3 years now, because he was preparing for a guy who hits hard, a guy who doesn't move too much in the octagon, the guy who doesn't throw many punches in the octagon. But he was now supposed to fight Cyril Gane, the guy who has quick feet, who moves like a middleweight, who has that good jab. He can fight in the pockets, he can fight within the range, he can fight with distance. You know, he is a very, very, very intelligent fighter, Cyril Gane. And then Jon Jones was supposedly meant to strike, as I've said earlier. So fight night came, and then it was easy work for Jon Jones, really. So he submitted Cyril Gane in the first round. I didn't even see what happened there because it was a quick tap from Cyril Gane, and many of the people who were watching that fight couldn't even understand how Jon Jones managed to submit Gane, because we didn't even see the submission move coming, you know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't say Jon Jones is good in the heavyweight division because we haven't seen him a lot. We only saw him for something like three minutes, if I'm being frank, 3 minutes in that first round with Cyril Gane. We didn't even see what Jon Jones possessed in the heavyweight division because that fight was only on the mat, you know, like Jon Jones took Cyril Gane to the mat and then finished the fight there without even throwing punches, without even seeing the movement of Cyril Gane, without even seeing anything from Jon Jones, really, because it was a very, very, very short fight. So we need to check Jon Jones' strengths, where Jon Jones will give Stipe problems. So we're gonna start with Jon Jones' striking, guys. We all know that Jon Jones is good in terms of combination punches, in terms of his elbows, in terms of his kicks. He's very unpredictable. Jon Jones is a very all-round player who can destroy an opponent with many tools in his arsenal. So Jon Jones' striking is very, very, very fluid, guys. He has a very good right hand. You know, like he stands. Jon Jones likes to stand like this. He likes to move forward, throwing that jab, throwing the snappy jab, throwing those punches. If you relax and close the distance, Jon Jones is very elusive, guys. He can boom, elbow you, boom, elbow you, boom, spinning elbow. He's very unpredictable, that guy. And his striking game, I'll give him a 9.9 out of 10. You know, like he showed me that he can fight. He showed me that he can box. Do you remember in his fight against Gustafsson? He was said that he only trained 1 week for Gustafsson and stuff, and he's been drinking and doing cocaine all there, you know. But we also know how Jon Jones can stand and fight in his feet. He doesn't need to take the fighting into the ground for him to submit or kill you or anything. No, Jones is very good also in his feet. We also saw that against Dominic Reyes. After he defeated Dominic Reyes, excuse me about that. After he defeated Dominic Reyes, Reyes was never a same fighter again, because his career just went after that defeat against Jon Jones. And that shows how good and bad Jon Jones is in his feet with his striking. So let's move on to Jon Jones' wrestling, guys. Jon Jones has been wrestling all his life, since he was young. And he comes from a very athletic family, because we know his brother plays NFL. He still plays or was playing in the NFL, I don't remember. But what I'm saying is Jon Jones comes from a very athletic family, and that gives him a notch against his fighters, because he's genetically given. So his ground game is very good. He's been wrestling all his life, like I said, and Jon Jones is very good with his submissions move, even if he's standing. We saw that against Lyoto Machida when he submitted him with the standing guillotine and just left him like that, and Machida was like boom, and then Jon Jones just turned back and savagely walked away. Like, he didn't even celebrate, he didn't even do anything. He just said a facial expression that said savage, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, Jon Jones is very good, guys. He's very good everywhere. His ground and pound is very good. He can ground and pound you with his forearms, with his fist, with his with his elbows, guys. Jon Jones is a very dirty fighter. I remember in his Ultimate Fighter season there, when he was a coach, he was telling his students that you have to elbow an opponent when he's on the ground. You have to elbow an opponent when he's on the ground. Let the opponent see their blood. You'll be surprised, maybe the other guys have never seen their blood. Jon Jones was saying that out of his mouth. Like, opponents must be elbowed in the face so that they see their own blood. Jon Jones is savage, guys. That guy is a killer, man. I was surprised when Tyson Fury said he's the baddest motherfucker in the world. Like, he can enter in the octagon and destroy Jon Jones. And I was like, Tyson, man, are you on something, man? Tell me, are you on something? Is there something wrong with you, bro? How can you mess with Jon Jones like that? If he takes you to the ground, you done. Your boxing won't work when you're lying on your back and trying to defend those elbows. How will your wrestling work there? You see what I'm saying? So, guys, those are Jon Jones' strengths. Jon Jones, and then, okay, let's move on to the Jon Jones' weaknesses, guys. To me personally, I don't think Jon Jones has many weaknesses in the octagon, but I will say that he has so many weaknesses off the octagon, like his discipline, guys. We all know what Jon Jones is capable of. Jon Jones is capable of anything outside the octagon. He can do like cocaine, he can party, he can do whatever, man. Jon Jones, yeah. And Jon Jones, oh, I forgot, guys. I forgot to tell you on the wrestling part of Jon Jones that he's been working with Gordon Ryan, guys. He's been working with Gordon Ryan. His ground game. He's been sharpening his ground game. He's grappling with Gordon Ryan, the best grappling guy in the world. So I don't know if Jon Jones is trying to expose his fight strategy against Stipe, or he's trying to deflect us from the real truth that he wants to kill Stipe on the feet, but he's releasing those footages with him training with Gordon Ryan just to deflect their minds or our minds. I don't know, but it's working, because now with all things that Jon Jones is trying to wrestle with Stipe Miocic, going back to the weaknesses part, as I've said, that he has a weakness of being indisciplined. And then the other weakness that Jon Jones, I think he has, is pride. I think Jon Jones has pride in his MMA record, in his GOAT status, and that thing, I think that it is weighing on his shoulders, because every time when he steps into the octagon, he doesn't only risk his championship, he risks his name, his GOAT status, his pound for pound status, So mentally it can play with you. I'm guessing. I'm not a fighter, man. I've never been into an octagon before, but I'm just saying that I think it can weigh on him, like the weight on his shoulders. That is the greatest of all time, I think that's about it about Jon Jones. So now we move to Stipe Miocic. So there's a saying in boxing that says the sport is only as good as its heavyweights, and the UFC has been blessed with the likes of Francis Ngannou, Cain Velasquez, Alistair Overeem. But standing above all of them, guys, is the heavyweight GOAT, Stipe Miocic, who holds a record for the most title fight wins and the most consecutive title fight defenses in the UFC, guys. As we all know that Stipe poses the best threat to Jon Jones. Stipe, he made his professional MMA debut in 2010, guys. He then went on to fight 6 times in a space of a year and a half. He won all his fights via KO before the 3rd round, and that showed that Stipe was a very good prospect who had a very bright future. And then he was snatched by the UFC guys in 2011 to make his professional UFC debut at UFC 136 against Joey, guys. So Stipe went on to win his first 3 fights, and then in his 4th fight he lost. But that loss, it was a loss, but I wouldn't say it was a loss because there was a controversial eye poke there. But Stipe said it was okay. The match continued, but Stipe lost. And then he went on to revive his career, winning his next 3 fights, and then he gained his title shot against Verdun. He went on to win his first UFC heavyweight belt against Verdun, and went on to defend it against Alistair Overeem. He defended it against Dos Santos and defended it against Francis Ngannou. He went on to headline the UFC main event against Daniel Cormier, where he lost his belt, and then he went on to regain it against Daniel Cormier in their 2nd fight, and then he went on to defend it again against Daniel Cormier in their trilogy. And then like Stipe went on to headline UFC 260 against Francis Ngannou, where he lost his title via a KO. And Stipe hasn't been active in the UFC since, guys. He's been working his job as a firefighter, and he hasn't been active in the octagon. So guys, let's jump on into Stipe's strengths. Okay, so guys, let's start with Miocic's striking game, guys. Miocic has very good striking, guys. He has a very good left jab, and a very good straight cross. His right hand is very strong, guys. Like, he's powerful. He can drop literally anyone in the heavyweight division, guys. And we all know that Stipe can fight in the pockets. That is also his strength. He can fight in the pockets. He also likes to invest in the body before going up top, and we can see that in his fight against Daniel Cormier. Guys, like, another thing that I love about Stipe striking, he can fight while moving backwards. His striking is good even when moving backwards. He can like release those power shots while on the back foot, and we can see that in his match against Verdun when he knocked Verdun out to gain his first UFC heavyweight title, guys. So basically, Stipe's boxing is good, guys, and he can pose a threat to Jon Jones, guys. Like, Jon Jones tends to struggle against fighters with good boxing, guys. So I guess Stipe poses the best boxing in the division and has a chance of knocking Jon Jones out. Like, out. Okay, guys, so let's move on to his experience, guys. I'm not saying that Jon Jones is not experienced, but all I'm saying is Stipe is experienced in the heavyweight division, especially in those title fights, guys. Stipe is very experienced in those title fights, and we all know what Stipe possesses, like, with his experience. And that fight when he was against DC, everyone thought he was going to lose because DC was dominating that fight until Stipe Miocic switched on that beast level, that beast mode, and finished off Daniel Cormier. So guys, I think those are the parts that Stipe Miocic can pose a threat to Jon Jones, because like Stipe doesn't use his wrestling, guys. He's a good wrestler, but he doesn't use his wrestling. So yeah, I think that is where Jon Jones will gain like momentum, because Stipe's wrestling is not like tested in the higher level, if I may say, because he hasn't been using his wrestling. Stipe's last takedown, guys, came like 5 years ago against Daniel Cormier. So we can say Stipe is very dangerous with his grappling game or wrestling. And let's go to Stipe's weaknesses, guys. Personally, I would say that Stipe, like, when he smells blood, he rushes to finish the opponent. According to my own analysis, because I saw his fight against Francis Ngannou 2, where he lost his belt. Ngannou dropped him, and then Stipe, like, he gained his consciousness, came up, like and then like tagged Ngannou. He tagged Ngannou, and Ngannou like wobbled for a split second, and then Stipe saw that he hit Ngannou, and then he wanted to pounce on Ngannou, but I didn't think that Ngannou has a very powerful shot that can like switch his lights off in that moment, and like Ngannou did that. He was tagged, Ngannou was tagged, and then Stipe, when he was coming, Ngannou just boom, and then Stipe was down and gone. So I think Stipe's composure, he has to play a very very good part in terms of Jon Jones's game, you know. And then like his other weakness, I'll say, is wrestling, guys. As I have said earlier, that Stipe doesn't use his wrestling, and Jon Jones has been wrestling all his life, like I say. So I think that is a plus to Jon Jones, you know. And Stipe, guys, is now 40 or 41 years of age, and I think when you're on that stage of your life, where you are on that age, you tend to slow down, like you're no longer explosive like you used to. And I think age plays, guys, age plays a very big part, because we can say that in Stipe's fight against DC was already 41 years of age there, and Stipe was 36, of which now Stipe is 41 and Jones is 36, I guess. So if you can play with your cardio, you can like, in those championship rounds, you can like start to move slowly, because you have no legs, like you're worn out. That's why I said Stipe, he has to be very careful, guys, with his approach, with his composure, because like he has to start slow, you know, so that he conserves his energy for the title fight rounds. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, guys, that's all about it on Stipe, and this is all about it on my UFC 295 preview, guys. So guys, for the last part of our video, my predictions. I'm seeing a 4th round TKO, and I'm giving it to Jon Jones, guys. I'm giving it to the GOAT of the UFC, guys. I'm seeing a series of punches in the round number 4 before that technical knockout. I'm seeing Jon Jones beating Stipe in the 4th round, guys. Don't get me wrong, as I say, this is not going to be an easy matchup for any of the guys. It's not going to be an easy matchup, but I've chosen my winner. And guys, please guys, like tell me your predictions like in the comment section below. And guys, this is the end of our video today. So guys, if you made it this far, please subscribe, like and share, guys. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you get notified of any video that I'm going to post. From me, your host, Black. Bye.